Well, I was raised from the age of 2 as a Jehovah's Witness. I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40 years. In 2011, I was asked to go. I was asked to leave the organisation. I was excommunicated, disfellowshipped. I'd like to go back. I'd like to go back to 2011 when I was in front of 3 elders facing what they call a Judicial Committee, a little meeting that's designed to allegedly help people like me. They'd found out through another member of the congregation that I was expressing doubts, taking the atheist stance, questioning whether there was a God. After all the years I believed that there truly was a God, and having 100% belief in this deity, this God of the Bible, I'd suddenly realised that it might not be the case. This might actually all be lies, or at best a mistake. So my position was, well, I can't believe in a caring deity that would allow for such heinous crimes to occur, for children to be beaten, abused, raped, die of cancer and all other manner of awful disease. I just couldn't fathom how it could be possible that there could be this creator who cared, that I'd believed in for so many years. It just suddenly dawned on me that he can't be real, because there's no way, if I was that creator and I was the embodiment of love, if I was perfect in my judgment, perfect in my wisdom, perfect in every way, an absolute genius, then I wouldn't design a system, I wouldn't create a world where the only choice was to teach the human race this lesson through bloodshed, torture, crimes beyond imagination, people drowning, dying of smoke inhalation, burning to death. All these things that had to happen in order for God to prove his point, is like putting my family through the most intense pain, suffering and death, just to say, you see, I'm right. I just couldn't get to grips with it anymore. So I'd love to go back. I'd love to sit in front of those 3 men, those 3 elders. I'd love to say to them, I'd do it all again. I'd do it all differently. I'd say, you've explained why you're going to disfellowship me, but can you really justify doing such a thing? Just think about what you're about to do. Just stop and think. We are about to destroy this man's life. We are going to dismiss this man from a life he's only ever known. We are going to isolate this man. We are going to create a culture in this congregation and surrounding congregations whereby this man will now not be able to speak, smile, or greet any of his friends that he's made in all the time he's been a part of this religion. He's only ever known this religion. He's only ever been allowed to make friends within this religion. And we are now going to destroy that. We are going to make it so that this man's health could now very easily decline. We are going to create a situation where this man may now enter the most deep depression, one in which he could even decide that life is not worth living anymore. This man we are about to dismiss from this organization may, in a few days, weeks, months, or years, decide to kill himself because he lost his life, his hope, his dreams, his friends, and his family. Gone. And I would say to these guys, when you signed up to be an elder, when you decided to take on the responsibility of being a spiritual shepherd, someone who is charged with looking after his God's sheep, when you decided that you would accept that responsibility and that you would be that person, did you stop to consider that one day, or on many occasions, you are going to have to sit down and you are going to have to face somebody, and you are now going to have to say to them, because you do not believe what we believe, you are now going to enter a period of time that could eat you up, that could affect your health and could ruin your life. For me to now avoid that situation, there is only one course, and that course is for me to say to you, A, I'm sorry for thinking the way I think, and B, I do believe in God. I do believe in the God of the Bible. I do believe that this organization represents that God. I basically have to lie. I have to lie in order to retain my membership of an organization that if I don't remain a part of, I will end up in a very lonely, isolated, and pretty traumatic time. It's ironic. I have to lie in order to stay in the truth. And the only way, if you suddenly have a different way of thinking, the only way to remain a part of the truth is to lie. That doesn't make sense. And I would say to these brothers, I would say, there's the bottom line. I can't believe, but I genuinely can't believe. I can't force myself to believe something that I just cannot accept. But what you're saying to me is the only way I can keep my family and keep from becoming alien to everything I've ever known, friends, family, and everything else. You're telling me the only way I can avoid that is to actually say, I do believe. I actually have to lie. You want me to lie in order to stay a part of the organisation. That's the only choice. I mean, it doesn't make sense on any level. I'd love to go back, and I'd love to say all that. I'd love to just sit in front of them and just wonder at wonder how they can actually go through with something like that. As it turned out, I didn't fall into any kind of depression. I didn't feel isolated. Yes, I lost my extended family, but then I gained family that was not a part of the religion. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't isolated. I didn't feel like. But that's not the point. I'm me. I'm different. They didn't disfellowship me. They didn't say, "Oh, he can handle it. He'll be okay." If I was the most fragile, messed up, abused, depressed, even person sat in front of them in the same circumstances, wouldn't have made a difference. Their hands are tied, and I just would love to see them again and have a meeting with them and just say to them, look what could have happened, and what does happen countless times in people's lives. This is what you do. You've signed up to become this shepherd, this elder, and maybe you did do it for the genuine reason of helping people and not because you love the idea of progressing through the ranks, but did you stop and think that on many occasions you are going to have to ruin people's lives? They justify it because they say, "Oh, it's not us, it's you." You've moved away. You knew what you were doing, and you've moved away from the truth. You've left us. You've put us in a position where we can only treat you this way. Victim blaming. They are part of an organisation whose very culture means that they have to enforce a rule whereby if you don't do it our way, you're out. When you're out, don't expect to have any more friends. Don't expect to associate with the people you only know, have only ever known. And don't expect to have any more encouragement, love, or anything else from us because you don't believe. You're no longer part of our club anymore, and it's just wrong, isn't it? It's just fundamentally wrong to put people in a position where the only way back is for them to lie, to sink so deep, into an isolated state that they feel they trick themselves into believing again. They tell themselves that the association and the love they had before must come from a source that they don't deep down believe in. To put people through that is emotional blackmail, to manipulate people into that position, to push them so far away. But these days, it's not working. I mean, it does drive people crazy, and it does make them very sad and very upset, and people commit suicide over it, and that is true. I just think now less and less that's happening because of the internet, and because we have social media, we have connections that we can make. We very, very quickly can find somebody in exactly the same situation as us. We don't then feel isolated anymore. We feel invigorated, we feel empowered, we feel, wow, this is not just happening to me. And this is how I felt, and that's going back 5-6 years ago. That, you know, I didn't fall into some deep depression. I was able to connect straight away with people who felt the same way as me, who've been through the same things that I never knew existed. People in situations that I had no idea about, and that I never thought I'd find myself in, and they were the same as me. And then quickly you gather strength from that. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back, and not to the organisation, but I'd love to just sit with those elders again, relive it, and have it all planned out what I was going to say. Make them feel as if what they're actually doing is pretty much mentally murdering someone, even though that didn't happen to me, but it could have. And they are pulling the trigger on a situation that could be very, very bad, and I don't think they honestly realise that's what they're doing, but they need to be made to realise. And that's why I'd like to go back and tell them that's what they're doing.